Hi everyone, I'm Steve Scott and welcome to another episode of Judo Analysis. And in today's episode, I'm going to look at some unusual pins for some people, but if you've wrestled, you've seen these type of things before. They are the cradle moves and how we use them with Kesa Gatame and Yoko Shiho Gatame. And you'll see how it unfolds in the videos here. These can be very viable hold downs, and cradle Kesa Gatame may or may not be recognized by some in Judo is a viable hold-down technique, but it certainly is in Sambo. And you'll see this often, and also submission grappling and other forms of, grappling with or without a gi. So it's a really interesting area to think about. And if you've not looked at some basic Judo holds, some hold-downs like Kesa Gatame and Yoko Shiho Gatame, and maybe even Muna Gatame as well, with using a cradle with it. If you wrestled, you know what I mean, where you hook them up and cradle them and really put them in a very, very bad predicament. So we're going to combine these moves into a pretty effective holding technique, and you should certainly hold them for time. And remember, when you hold somebody for time, it's a time hold, okay? As Judo Gene LaBelle, I think, was the first to really coin that phrase back in the 60s that I can remember. And you're holding him for a period of time. But while he's down there, really, you should make it very uncomfortable for him, to the point where, if possible, get him to tap out from the actual hold itself. And some may say that's mean or something, but I don't think so. I think it's part of the game we play. So anyway, here we go. Cradle Kesa Gatame and cradle Yoko Shiho Gatame. Those type of pins here, I think you'll like them. So here we go. Tonight we're going to work on if somebody's got your legs scissored or in a half guard, and how to put a good hurting on them with a nice osaikomi, a nice pinning situation. So here's the situation. So you're grappling and whatever happens, tie them up pretty good here. So Sandy might want to come around here so you can see. So you got he's scissored the legs, using a half guard, whatever. Okay, there are guys who are really good from this position. So, we got to work on that. So what we're going to do, what Derek's going to do here, he's going to do a variation of the cradle, just like out of wrestling, we stole from wrestling. So we're going to be doing that. So do you want to coach him through it, or do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay, why don't you coach him through it? So that's the intro, but this first was a really good cradle. We're going to show you where it's one, where you use it like in Sambo or submission grappling or sport Jiu-Jitsu. And the second we'll show you one that's pretty much quote Judo legal. So we'll do that. So go ahead, Derek.
So try and get chest to chest. The last thing I want to do is give him space so he can scroll up underneath me, sweep me, take my back. So get down and we get control of his head and his arm. Then I'm going to shift so that I can actually jam my shoulder into his jaw, into his neck, and make it a little uncomfortable, but I'm also flattening him on his shoulders and elevating his hips.
Yeah, so, real quick, I don't want to, because you're coaching, I know, but when he does it, see how he shifts to his right, and now he's kind of parking Eric a little more on his shoulders and upper back. And that's really essential, because now he's actually breaking the balance, as it were. Eric was pretty flat, had some more strength, actually keep mobile because his hips are in contact. When he moves to the side here, and he can kind of park him up there, and now he's making it uncomfortable. He's putting himself, like you said, chest to chest in a better position. So I just want to interject that. That's really an important, small but big part. Okay? All right, sorry.
If you can shift over as close to the head as you can, my elbow and my knee are together. So that's another way you can get a nice solid base. You can see right here, elbow and knee are pretty much together. It allows me to put all my weight down onto his jawline and his carotid by pushing off on the other leg.
Just focusing on that.
And if he's doing a good job of triangulating my legs nice and tight, okay, his hips are going to go up with it, which is what I want, because next we're going to come through and I'm going to slide the hand through and catch our cradle position, okay? So I'm not going to shove my arm way down in there, okay? I'm going to just hook and then bring him over. He should already be rolled up, okay? From there, you sweep your leg back and triangle.
Everybody come around here, because see how his leg was here? Okay, now watch what he does with his left leg. Go ahead.
So sweep back into the triangle. Sit down and push your hips in.
See how he does that? And he really splits them apart, kind of like a banana split in wrestling, but it's really a really strong cradle too.
Don't lean too far forward, okay? You're going to be back with his other shoulder up, okay? And on your elbow and your knee. Okay, so not forward like this.
You don't want to be forward like this because now you're off balance. He could roll you over. Right. You don't want to do that. You want to keep him parked up high on the shoulder area. And now, but see how he's also putting a lot of, that right shoulder of Derek's is really putting the hurt on Eric's head. He's squeezing him pretty good. Now, when he does this, come on all the way out of it. Yeah, go ahead, half guard. Okay, watch when he does this. Derek starts moving his body. Now he's setting him up. Now, at this point, see how he posted up here? Now, this is what, you may not have been able to hear him because he was talking and they were kind of muffled there. But now watch what he does with his hand. He doesn't make a big move, and he kind of slides that through and he hooks it. And a good way to slide it through is your palm up. It's a strong way to do that rather than palm down. Now he can make the connection here. A good C grip or S grip, whatever you want to call it, but you're locking in tight like this. Now you've got him pretty good, okay? But now to really cinch it in, watch what he does. Watch with his feet. He ties up further like that. See how he creates a triangle here with his legs, a figure four like in catch wrestling or something? We call it triangle sankaku. But look how it splits Eric open there. So now that's not pleasant. And plus he's really putting the hurt on him with the cradle. It's very unpleasant. And you know, one of the good rules of this is osaikomi or holding, you know, and like in Judo or Jiu-Jitsu. Look, one of the rules we'd like to do is we want to make it so unpleasant for him. He's not thinking about getting out. He's just thinking about surviving. He's thinking about how much this hurts. And let's let him think about how much it hurts, and then he's not trying to escape. Okay? You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, so keep this arm as deep as you can. Your bicep should be on his neck, his carotid, almost like I'm trying to do a head and arm choke, okay? That way it's a lot easier to catch your hand when you're doing the cradle. And as soon as you know you're about ready to do the cradle, I'm going to shift over here. Okay, once this hand goes, my other hand's going to come down like this, so that as I scoop and I come across, I can bring them together. Okay, so this hand isn't just waiting here. As soon as my hand comes through here, I'm going to try and kind of lift his head together with his knee. Okay, and then I keep my weight on that elbow and the knee so that I can hook this leg back into the triangle and sit on it. And once you get a triangle, then we can lock it and just sit straight down and do it. And before your hips touch, you should be in the banana splits.
So, again, like you say, a good hallmark of osaikomi, or holding for time, it's a time hold.
Yeah.
But you're holding him, so make that time he's being held really uncomfortable. And again, he's not thinking about escaping. He's thinking about, oh my God, this hurts. You know, how can I relieve the pain, not get out of the pin? So if you're making him think of that, you know, it's even better for you. Now, I'm not saying do something dirty like a neck crank or whatever, you know, but stay within the rules of whatever sport you're fighting in. But this is certainly an unpleasant experience for fun. So it's a cradle variation. You know, in Judo we call it Yoko, Shiho, Gatame because it's a very side four-corner holding. So, but it's a variation of wrestling cradle. Any little banana split, you can split them apart with the legs. That's not pleasant either. We'll do it with the hips. All right, let's practice it. We'll get it.
Okay, so again, shift my way over here, and I've already got that knee up. If he has a really bad half guard, and I do this and his legs are still flat, I'm just gonna pass, okay? So this is for when we shift through here and he keeps his half guard pretty good, okay? As I slip this through, notice how I'm rotating my shoulder and my hip down, and that lifts his butt up. There's some space right there.
He's putting a lot of pressure here by that rotation he just mentioned.
I'm not having to go up like this. I'm just going from flat to rotating my shoulder and my hip a little bit. And that lifts his hips up enough for me to scoop through right about where the knee is and bring your hands together, okay? From there, we swing that leg back, okay? You catch, almost like you're doing an Osoto Gari, catch, swing it back, and use your knee. Okay? When you take your forward, you go straight down. Right about there. You should get the check. Okay? If you're leaning too far back, when you do it, see how my knees are coming up? It's not really doing anything to straighten his leg. So keep the pin and then hit the in.
You may not have heard that. He doesn't want to slide too far back and lose control because you're kind of muffled.
Sorry. So if I figure 4 and I shoot straight back like this, I'm not going to get the stuff. I'm not going to get the banana splits because I'm just sliding down his leg. I want to keep the pin, keep the pressure, slide the leg back, try to get a good bite on it, and then push your hips down. If the hips go down, the triangle goes up, okay? Just like that, okay? Not that. Now, let's say you're not bendy enough to do that. You don't like the way it's feeling.
This is good for like more like heavier guys, upward middleweights, higher middleweight weight classes, more heavyweight guys. So if you can't do a figure 4 or a triangle with your legs, watch what Derek does here with his legs.
I'm doing still get my hands connected into the cradle like I did before and have his butt up as much as I can by rotating that shoulder down. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my feet together. Just cross your ankles.
Can you see how he just crossed his ankles? So he's just trapping it there. Now he's got a pretty good split there. And we were talking about bigger guy, you know, Eric's pretty flexible. So like a heavyweight, the guy who, you know, upper weight classes, he won't be that flexible. So even by hooking your ankles together like Derek doing like that, that's probably enough to split this guy apart to get a tap out from that banana split. But even not, you've got a pretty darn strong hold. In fact, that's a very strong hold here. And that's what you've got here.
So if we switch it over, we grab it, I'm going to stay in the middle of his knees. And then just sit down. Okay? In, knees out.
And that's just a variation of the, you know, half guard, the cradle from the half guard. We turn it into banana split as well. Okay?
Probably not as much control with the second one, but you don't really need it because usually the guys that need to do the second one have a little bit of a stoppier build anyways, so you're going to be able to put all that pressure right down on the top of the sticks. And you just want to put the pressure right down there and drive the knees out. Okay, so if you focus there, you're literally making them do the splits instead of just slitting one leg up. And I want both of them to go equidistant so it pulls the hips apart. Okay?
Let's give that a try, and we'll come back with one more variation of this. Okay,
all right, 1, 2, 3, go.
We're going to do the cradle from the half guard, from the leg scissors, and we've been doing it where it was for anything else but judo. Now, if you, in judo, remember the rule of judo, to get an osai komi, the referee will call pin in, okay, he has to, the top guy doing the pin, has to clear his opponent's legs. That's a rule of, it's a good rule too. And so that's what Derek's going to do now. So Derek, why don't you turn around and you get your butt toward, toward Sandy more so she doesn't. Can you see that? There you go. Okay, good, right there. So watch what Derek does with his legs. You want to take it from here, big guy?
Sure. So there's 2 easy ways to do this from here. And we're going to do the first one is basically the same way we're doing the last one, except without a lot of submission in it. We're not going to do the banana split. So I'm going to shift and drive the shoulder into the arm, pop that knee up a little bit, but still post off with the foot. Okay, come down, scoop under into the cradle. Okay, shift that leg over and block it with your foot.
This is important, guys. See how he's blocking? He's using this baseline. See how he traps? That isolates the bottom man's leg and gives him a chance to watch what he does next. Shift right over. See that? Right in there. Now that's a small point, but an important point that really lets you get past his leg. Let's look at that again.
Okay, the elbow or over. Okay, my upper free knee is up and I'm on the ball of my foot. Most of my weight's over here. Okay. step out, unhook, right back in.
They're afraid to call osai kome because in judo, that's a good Yoko, Shiho, Gatame, side, four corner holding, okay, or pin. But we're doing it with a cradle. And this is very uncomfortable because all the while, poor Eric on the bottom is getting like crunched in half. He kind of pulled in there. We'll do it one more time. So let's take a look at that. I do it semi-speed. There you go, stuck it. That little bit at the end is a very skillful move and you need practice on it. That's something that takes good timing, good practice, and good skill. So that's something you can do and just practice. You just kind of drill it. So watch, here's a good way to drill it. Turn around a little more so you can. Okay, so watch. So he ties him up, he does it, he cradles him up, he does all this cool stuff. Now, Derek can do a lot of repetitions here. Come back there, okay, you get back in the middle of them, and he just keeps working on it. Just keeps working on it, just tie it up. So that's what you want to do to be able to catch it. That's a good skill in and of itself. That's an important aspect to finish this so you can use it in competitive judo. Whatever the judo rules are, whether it be IJF, freestyle judo, AAU judo, any of that stuff, you've got to get past the legs to make it quote unquote judo legal. And that's probably one of the most efficient ways to do it. Okay? Good. Let's go with that one. This foot's up in the air. Now, do you think Eric likes that? Not 1 second. And again, Eric's thinking about, oh, this position really stinks. I hate being here. And he's not thinking about how the heck do I get out. So we're making it very uncomfortable where his thoughts are survival, not escape. We're going to do a, what we call cradle Kesa Gatame. Kesa Gatame, Kesa means scarf, scarf hold. And this is putting a cradle to it. And this is a pretty good pin. I mean, it's a pretty rough pin. It's really good for a guy who's a really good guard fighter, and you want to stick him and hold him for a period of time, and then you can go on to other things too. But it's definitely a painful osai kome to hold that. So you want to take it.
Okay, so we're going to go from guard, and the idea here is we're going to pressure pass our way through. So I want to get control of his head and arms just like I did last time so I can flatten him out enough and elevate my hips for the sit through. Okay? So as soon as we get a hold of the head, we pop up onto our hips right here. And see, I'm kind of hugging his hips with my knees. So that's what keeps him from being able to wiggle his hips out and triangle me or arm lock.
Now, some people will say, oh, that's a real weak position for the top man here. Not necessarily. You're going to see what happens here. We're putting him here, and Derek is basically putting Eric up on his shoulders like he just described, and he's controlling his upper body at this point. So that's his main concern, control the upper body at this point. Okay, something else.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shift his hip that's on your guys' side in with my knee. Boom. And we're going to sit through as we catch that leg. Okay? So as soon as I'm ready, I shift. And I'm going to catch right there on the inside and drop my elbow. Sit through and then scoop. Okay, now we've got our cradle. If you want to be extra neat, you draw your elbow up until he's keeping himself in the head.
Let's look at that. Can you come back out of it a little bit, Sandy, so we can see the whole body. Watch what he does when he catches. Here's a key thing a lot of guys will mess up on. Look at, you can swim through, that's good too. That's a good basic way to do it. But a really good way to control this and make it a little more painful so he'll comply better. Okay, look how he grabbed the gi here. Now, if there was a no-gi situation, you have to swim through because there's nothing to grab, no jacket or if you're doing it in Sambo, it doesn't have pants on. So you'd have to swim through. Show how you swim through. Okay. Just swim through that way.
As soon as we're going through there, again, lots and lots of pressure on the shoulders and block the hip. So as soon as that hand goes through, we're stepping across and we're sitting through. And that jams the thigh back down. Your hands come together. It's a very hard movement to go anywhere but just kind of stay there. In order to do any sort of triangle, he has to get this over my shoulder and I just keep him pinned.
So he sticks him. Now that was when he swam through. And let's look at the other side when he has pants on, like in Judo or Jiu-Jitsu, where he can do that. So watch what he does, how he uses his hand to get past this leg.
Okay, hands together, again, so nice and safe. Cradling the hips, okay, with the knees. Again, locking his hips in, locking his shoulders down. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm gonna grab this side and then drive my elbow in and grab the pants. Okay, as soon as I get that, I lead the way with that hand and sit through.
So that sit through is a big thing. That helps drive you forward and get you in a good Kesa Gatame type position to hold it longer. Okay, sorry guys.
Once I've got that, I scoop back around, come in right behind the knee. Okay, cradling the hips, catch the inside, lead with that forearm, sit through, scoop back around, cradle. If it's more of a no-gi situation, okay, we're gonna shift that way, and as soon as I dig through, the hand goes and the hip goes right behind it.
Let's look also when he does this, do it again. When he sits through, he wants to make sure Eric is, it sounds funny, I keep stuttering here, but it sounds funny. You want to make sure the bottom guy is off balance. That sounds weird in ground fighting. Off balance, what do you mean? He's on the mat. But by taking him off balance and controlling the movement of his body, that's what I mean. Controlling his posture and everything else. So when Derek does this and he sits through, however he does it, and when he sits through, if he wants to add a little more pressure to it, he can keep coming up a little more around or up in here and keep walking around and really tightening up that cradle. Sandy, can you come around here and see how this, and look at when he does this, by keep walking through, see how he bends this leg? This foot's up in the air. Now, do you think Eric likes that? Not 1 second. And again, Eric's thinking about, oh, this position really stinks. I hate being here. And he's not thinking about how the heck do I get out? So we're making it very uncomfortable where his thoughts are survival, not escape. And that's what we want to do here. And we keep walking around, see, we just keep working, and then we keep work the guy, okay? So that's a really legitimate hold on. You can hold him there as long as you want to. It's very strong hold on. Okay. So we see, you ever see how we did the sit through? So let's work on the 2 ways to do it. Show them the one where you push down to it and swim through. So watch the 2 ways to get past the leg. They're both very good, they both work.
Okay. Grab the hands, drive the elbow in. Okay? As soon as we push, the knee slips through. Scoop, cradle, walk. Okay, same thing. Nice pressure, cradling the hips, scoop under, and as soon as we catch, sit and walk.
We just keep walking. Good. It's cradle Kesa Gatame. It's a very effective hold. It's a very uncomfortable hold. And again, concept of osai komi. Osai komi means to immobilize for a period of time, to immobilize and control. And so if he's in osai komi, it's a time hold. You're holding him for a period of time. Will make the time you're holding him extremely uncomfortable for him. He doesn't think about escaping, he's just thinking about surviving. Okay? So cradle Kesa Gatame. All right.